I'm Joey.
I'm Jason.
And this is Metal
Monster
Review. All right, folks, we're back. And guess what fucking decade we're going back to again? That's right, the 80s. We're going back to 1981. And we're actually going to sit here and discuss a sequel to our last review. We are going to talk about Friday the 13th, Part 2. This is a real cool fucking movie. And this one's pretty different, too, compared to what we're used to. As you see with the progression here with the Friday the 13th franchise, the first two are a little bit different compared to the rest. And then the rest followed suit. But what you got going on here is this. You got a group of counselors taking a job, working at this camp, getting ready to work at this camp, which is not Camp Crystal Lake, but it's located on the same lake as Camp Crystal Lake. Now, some time has passed since the first one, so the locals aren't real happy about them opening this camp. They feel, hey, you're too goddamn close to what happened here. Things are quiet. You know, we don't want any bad vibes going on. We don't want any trouble. So, and is it... Well, I think you already know what's going to happen here. We get Jason Voorhees now working pretty much as the killer in this movie. Jason, would you like to talk a little bit about Friday the 13th, Part 2?
Yeah, like you said, we get introduced to Jason Voorhees in here. We get the first real taste of him.
Yeah.
And one thing I like about this movie, it does like a little continuation. Like it doesn't go extreme like Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Just like a little 5-minute clip of what happened in Part 1.
Yes.
And then it goes to Part 2. I enjoyed that little part. So if you've never seen Part 1, you can say, okay, see like the last couple minutes.
You get a brief recap of it, but it does show you the ending. So if you haven't seen Friday the 13th, you might want to watch that before Friday 13th Part 2, or make an evening of it and do Friday 13th Part 1, then Part 2. Now, as we've mentioned in the show before, spoilers do happen, but with these movies, we're going to try to keep them at a minimum, because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody if you haven't seen these. But we're going to tell you about some of our favorite scenes from these movies for sure. Now, as I mentioned in the last review, we had a character named Crazy Ralph. Crazy Ralph makes a return in this movie here. And, well, hell, things don't work out well for our friend Ralph. You know what I mean? I guess, you can only dodge the bullets so many times.
Since you're talking about Ralph, I mentioned to you earlier today, to me, it's funny because in Part 1, he went to go try to warn them again, but the crazy bastard is hiding in the food pantry.
Yes.
Jumps out to tell the lady that you're doomed and you're still in danger. But in this one, he gets killed and gets stuffed in the pantry. So we come full circle.
Yeah, you kind of do. You know what I mean? So, Ralph in the pantry, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that is true for sure. But I love the look of Jason Voorhees in this one, and this isn't the standard hockey mask.
Nope.
This is a real creepy little look. And as you mentioned, too, another scene that you really liked is that he was hiding in this little shack in the woods. And, people have stumbled into pretty much his little home here. And what he's hiding there, you know what I mean, is because this ghastly horror. And there's this police officer who sees this. And Jason sneaks up behind him and just smashes him in the head with a hammer.
A little more on that scene when the cops leaving the campsite, because he caught 2 of the camper in training going to Crystal Lake to investigate, which it's forbidden, it's closed off. When the cops leaving, and Jason Voorhees decides to go fucking Sasquatch mode and just runs across.
Yeah, I saw that.
I've seen that. Like, hey, Voorhees is going Sasquatch.
Yeah, pretty much.
That cop is like stops and running through the woods. Like,
he stops. He runs and then he stops and he continues fucking running again. How many times did you see that? and continues fucking running again, just trotting through all the poison oak and everything. He didn't give a shit.
Maybe the cop thought it was Bigfoot. I'm going to be rich.
Yeah, I'm going to be rich. You know what I mean? You know, and that's it, you know. But I'm going to send this picture to In Search Of, you know what I mean? Or I know that's not even a show anymore.
But I thought that was a creepy little scene. You just see a glimpse of me. I know I'm being stupid funny, but that was creepy to see. It wasn't like perfect. It was sort of blurry to see a man running across the street.
Yeah. And I love it. You don't really completely get a full look out of him until there's a certain scene in the movie. And I just really dig this look. But also, too, I do want to mention this. I love the Friday the 13th Part 2 NECA figure here. And these are just fucking awesome here. You know what I mean? And, you know, as I mentioned, spoilers ahead, you know. But, I mean, you take a look at some of these, you know, this image of Jason Voorhees and how creepy this looks, you know, and just the implements of destruction here. And it's all props that were used for the movie, too, you know, with you know, from the movie, I guess I should say.
Now we have about 8 kills in this movie. We're not going to spoil every one, but Joey, what was your most memorable kill?
There's a character, his name is Mark, and he's in a wheelchair. And once again, Joe Bob Briggs, you know what I mean? And when I'm watching the Friday the 13th Dusted On, Friday the 13th Marathon, you know, I remember him mentioning, you know, will Jason Voorhees kill a guy in a wheelchair? Let's find out. And just that scene, that was a brutal death scene. And he ends up going down a flight of steps backwards in his wheelchair. And I just thought that was an awesome scene to watch. That was one of my favorites from this movie. How about you?
That was my favorite kill scene too. And as cool as it was, I thought it was just funny because the poor guy takes an axe to the face. And all I'm thinking is he has the axe in his face. Okay, I'm still alive. This can't get any worse. And all of a sudden, backwards down like three flights
in a thunderstorm.
In a thunderstorm.
In a thunderstorm. You know what I mean? It made it even worse. And that killed his date too. You know what I mean? With what was her name? Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That just what a buzzkill.
Tell you what, Vicky was a little vixen in this movie.
Yes, she was.
Normally, it's the men trying to get on to the women.
Oh, yeah.
This one was reversed, man. Vicky was all about Mark. She wanted to see if he had 4-wheel drive.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking funny.
I'm going to hell for saying that. But,
oh, yeah. I don't even have anything else to add to that. That was fucking great.
But my favorite non-kill scene is towards the end. I'm not going to give about what happens at the end, but at the end, whenever Guinea stumbles upon Jason's little hut, but she doesn't know it's his hut, she gets in there, is like screaming for help, and out the window, you can just see him
running up towards the shack. And that's a creepy scene because you know she's in danger, and then you see the killer just stalking her, and he's close, and she is in his lair. You know what I mean? And that's just, like I said, this is just, to me, an awesome movie. Highly recommend this one. Would you highly recommend this?
Yeah. You get some good laughs, too. I mean, it's not supposed to be funny, but like when Paul, it's like a freaking training for camp counselors. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, the pep talk, you know, keep your shit together, everybody. You know what I mean? This place is looking like a Burger King. Like, okay, thanks, Captain. You know what I mean? You know, all right, we got you. But, I mean, this is just a kind of a cool 80s horror movie, and I'd highly recommend this. Now, do you have anything else you'd like to add about Friday the 13th Part 2?
Once again, they keep the music score going in this.
Harry Manfredini. I mean, he has an awesome musical score. And that's one thing that's really cool and consistent about the Friday the 13th movies is that you do get the soundtrack with it. You know what I mean? You do get the and as we discussed in the last review, who the hell thought that would work? But it's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? So I'd highly recommend this one. Check this one out. I'm Joey.
I'm Jason.
And this is Metal
Monster
Review.